What's happening, everybody? Dan with Hangar 88, and I'm bringing you guys a short video on a pretty neat little process that was brought to light by FrSky Steve. Him and I were speaking this morning about the new revitalized timers with Ethos 1.5 and greater, and he came up with this idea, this thought that he wasn't sure could be possible. And I said, yeah, it's possible. Now, the idea and the process to execute that idea isn't limited to the timers in 1.5. This is actually a process that can be used with earlier versions of firmware. And so his idea was he wanted to be able to hear his VFR callouts in the first 60 seconds of a flight. The idea behind that is he estimates it would within the first minute of his flight, he would have already made one complete circuit around his flying site. And in that first circuit, every 10 seconds, he would get a call out of his VFR signal strength to just kind of have a heads up of, is the flying field, is the air dirty today? Does he have any dead spots? Anything like that. I mean, whatever the case may be for his reasoning on why he wants that, he wanted it. So how do we do that? So first and foremost, in order for this process to happen, I kind of chased my tail for a few minutes in the beginning, because as you could see here, this is my test model, and I didn't have a receiver bound to this model. So in order to pull information such as VFR needs to be there. You'll run into some portions of this setup where if VFR is not there or has not been there, it won't work because you just won't have that option to choose from. So make sure you have a receiver bound to it, to the model. And what we're going to do first is we're going to create a logical switch, but have a timer set up. Have your flight timer set up. And the numbers are all going to differ. I'm just using a 2-minute timer here. I'm just using this 2-minute timer here, and I named it FT for flight timer for the sake of this video. Now, everybody's timer is going to be different. Are you flying EDFs, electric prop, combustion fuel turbine? You guys get the picture. All those times are going to be different. So again, nothing different there. You set up the timer, and we're not going to go into that here in this video. So the first thing we want to do is create the logical switch. So model menu, logical switch, and I have one already created here. So we're going to edit that and name it whatever you want. I just put VFR start. Function is going to be set under normal, and the function we're going to want to use is the range function. The source, you're going to go in, you're going to look for timers. And depending on how many timers you have, you'll have to choose your flight timer there. I only have one, so it auto-populates the member column and automatically chooses that for me. And the range, remember I only had a 2-minute timer set for this example, is we're going to want to start it at, let's say 1 minute and 59 seconds. And then the next one will be, 1 minute only. Okay. Active condition is always on, and everything else can stay the same. If you want to put a comment down there, that's up to you. So what this is saying is that when my timer, when these conditions, the range condition is met, logical switch will activate. So when my timer reaches 1 minute and 59 seconds, all the way through one whole minute or 1 minute, logical switch 1 will be active. Now I'm going to do that. I have my timer set to just a simple switch right now. And you'll see that after a second, logical switch should go green up here, making the condition true. So the condition became true. And when I flip the switch down, I also have it set as my reset on the opposite swing, so it will turn that logical switch off. Okay, so again, logical switch, we named it VFR start. We're going to use the range function under a normal condition, and the source will be the flight timer. So this logical switch is looking for the range of 1 minute and 59 seconds to 1 minute based off of our flight timer. So we're going to back out of that now. Once that's created, special functions, we're going to want to create a sound for this. So we're going to edit, because I've already have one created, or create a new one in your case. Action is going to be play audio. The state you're going to want to enable, active condition. So when do you want this audio to be activated? Well, we want it to be activated within that condition we set for logical switch 1. So once that condition becomes true, please play this for me. So we're going to find logical switches in category. And again, because I only have one logical switch created, VFR start is the only one that's going to populate in the member column, and it will auto-populate onto my screen there. Global condition we're just going to leave off for now. The voice, your voice should be set to voice 1 US, because we will be using the VFR, which is a system value, and that comes off of the stock voice files. The repeat function. Now, remember, we said Steve wanted every 10 seconds. You may elect to do every 5 seconds. There's a possibility of doing other things there with timing, but I'm not going to go into that because, well, I'll tell you about the other reasons here at the end of the video. But for now, just know that every 10 seconds, this VFR, or I'm sorry, this call out will work, or is going to work for us. So we're going to go and add a new line in the sequence, and I already have one created, so we're going to hit that. We're going to hit edit. The type is we want to play a value. And under source, we're going to look for telemetry. And we're going to select 2.4, which it's already highlighted there, and back out. Now, this is the part that I told you, if you don't have a receiver bound to the model, it's never going to acknowledge that you had telemetry there. Furthermore, if you have a receiver bound to it and it's still not showing you the telemetry option here under source, chances are that the sensors haven't been discovered. So back all the way out, go to the telemetry page, discover the sensors, make sure they're acknowledged, then it'll populate here in this menu for you. So anyhow, source is going to be our telemetry VFR 2.4, and we're just going to leave everything else the same. I don't need any haptic or anything for that. So we're going to back out. Okay, all the way back out. Everything is set in place. We've created a flight timer. We've created a logical switch that says when my flight timer 1 is between 1 minute and 59 seconds and 1 minute, I will be true. Logical switch 1 will become active and true. Once that condition is met, our special function is set to go off when logical switch 1 is true, and it'll repeat itself every 10 seconds. Now, again, this is important. If you don't, turn your receiver on, and I'm going to kind of put it here so we can see that it's on.
Telemetry recovered.
Okay, and we're going to hit the switch, and I'm going to let it go for
100%. 100%.
You can see it every 10 seconds. It goes off. I probably could have used a shorter time, but we didn't.
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%.
Now you see as we're approaching the 1 minute mark, it'll say it one more time.
1 minute.
And no more 100%. So we'll go ahead and stop that. And that's basically it. You see once it passed that 1 minute mark and went down into the 50 seconds or 59 seconds and lower, that the VFR stopped calling out. Is this a useful feature? Sure. In some cases it may be.
Telemetry lost.
Thank you. In some cases it may be. It was an idea that Steve had, and it's something that works out for him. So yeah, it's 100% useful. So many ways to do so many different things with FrSky. It just requires a little bit of thought and practicality. Like, is it practical? Is it logical? If you can answer yes to both of those questions, then you could probably make it happen. Sometimes it just you have to sit there and think about it. And it's amazing. It blows my mind. The things that the system can do, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. But anyhow, a couple of other reasons that we wanted to make this video is to encourage you guys to take this process, which is pretty simple, and in some cases may be useful to somebody in its context that you've seen here today. But the application of the process or the idea can be used for a lot of other things, not just your countdown timer, not just for a VFR call out. One of the ideas we were talking about was like, it kind of sucks that it just says 100%, and you just kind of automatically have to know that 100% it's telling you about is the VFR for the 2.4. Now, what about 900 if you're running a tandem? Can you do that? How do you do that? Is there a priority stack there? Is there another special function that you create, with an intermittent time between that call out and the, call out that you have in mind? There's just a lot of ways to spin this, and a lot of things you can do with it. So again, that idea is take this simple video, make your own video based off of this process, and make it better. I challenge you, make it better. All right, so that's about it. I really hope that you guys take the challenge, make it better, do it better. If you've liked what you've seen here today, please consider just subscribing to my channel and giving it an old thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below or get a hold of me in the ways that you know how. I hope everybody's having a great week. I know that the weather here in Central California is gorgeous. I hope it is where you're at too. Happy flying.